I think anyone that does PPC should also do the SEO at the same time. It just makes a lot of sense.
What's going on, Dennis?
Is it Brian or Drake? What's your name?
Yes, sir. It is Drake. First name is Brian, middle name is Drake, so it gets a little confusing. I need to dial that in. But I appreciate you hopping on the call. I mean, what is it? Is it 12 a.m. where you're at? Or are you in Cali?
Yeah, it's just past midnight.
Man, I appreciate it. I really do.
I'll show you how easy this is. Okay. A Best Roofing. Well, they've got their location service pages doing commercial and residential. They're ranking on a fair number of keywords, of which, let's see if we've got the paid components. All right, so this A Best Roofing, this main URL is carrying all the weight for their keywords. See that? Their location service pages aren't really carrying any weight. It's their homepage all the way through, right?
Okay.
And it makes sense because it could be their brand name. But,
yeah, it's definitely the brand. They're a big brand here in Tulsa,
yeah,
Oklahoma.
No, I can see, yeah. So the roofing company's Tulsa, they're showing up. They're showing up in the local pack. People also ask. I bet you they have a fair number of reviews and this kind of thing. If you look at their top pages, okay, they had a little bit of a problem last year. But all the traffic's coming to the homepage, which usually means that they're relying upon their reputation or PPC or ads or billboards or stuff like that instead of organic because their location service pages aren't really pulling for them. So
I'm not sure they're running ads. I don't think they are.
Well, let's see. They're right here. They're dominating all these other guys. I don't see they're in downtown, are they? Yeah, okay. So that helps them. A-Best Roofing. Let's see. Let's take a look.
Do you think it's smart to go with the roofing industry if you're
Roofing's fantastic. Oh, roofing's great. I got a lot of friends that have started just in roofing.
Amazing. That's good.
Plenty of room for this.
Because you hear a lot of guys saying like, "Oh, like there's it's too saturated or it's too competitive."
No.
There's so many roofers.
No. Almost everyone doing it sucks. You have no competition. They suck so bad. There they are. Okay. Roofing contractor, commercial roofing, just metal roofing. They're probably looking at $25, $30 keyword. We've got other roofing clients. I mean, we can go roofing. Let's see what we got. Here's roofing. Got a lot of roofing guys.
Wow. You've been running your agency for a long time, haven't you? The specific one.
Oh, I coach a lot of agencies. I've been doing this since the beginning of the internet.
Really?
Yeah. So
I came across. I could have swore I've heard of you before because I was Googling white label agencies because, like I was saying, we don't know too much about media buying or PPC.
It's easy. It's so easy.
Really, it seems like because our biggest fear is I'm really good at sales. I'm in tech sales. I sell technology to government agencies. So I'm good at
some scams.
Yeah, well, I'm good at sales, so I'll be able to definitely do
selling is easy, but what matters is
that's what I'm worried about is being able to fulfill the service and make them money because we're trying to come up with an irresistible offer and do all these things.
No, don't do that. I got all these scams. I've written so many articles about all these scams.
Like scammer agencies.
Yeah, agencies that scam roofing companies and plumbing companies and all this kind of stuff. There's so many of them. Let's see if I can find some in here. I post a lot of them here.
So that's probably why they're a bit more skeptical than a lot of other niches, or is it just very?
Just the internet is full of scams.
Yeah. Okay. How many employees do you have in your agency right now?
I don't even count. We have an army. We have a lot.
Are you guys looking for sales reps?
We don't need sales reps. We need people who actually have knowledge. If you want to learn how to do it, we'll train you up. You can work with us. We'll give you all the roofing companies. You don't need to, like if you want to hear agency elevation. Okay. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, I've coached these guys for quite some time.
Wow.
I coach them on their acquisition. I coach a lot of agencies on selling and what they should sell for and what the terms of the deal should be and all that. So,
man, it's crazy to see like after all your success, like it's 12 in the morning and you just I appreciate your time. Just hopping on a call with a random kid from Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'm 20 years.
This is what life's about.
I appreciate it, man. I really do.
Where's that roofing scam? I did a good video as a roof. Where is it? Did I put it on my site? Which site did I put it on? It was these guys that charge $5,000. I know you like your sales guy.
Yeah, I've been doing sales that's all I've ever done is sales.
Okay, here it is. We'll play the first minute so you can see.
Thing so scammy that you just needed to stop what you're doing and tell everyone about it. Let me show you this one thing this afternoon that a friend of mine who's a roofer almost fell for. And I thought, there have got to be thousands of other people that are falling for this SEO plus AI scam. So watch how this scam works, and hopefully this will protect you and protect some of your friends. All right. So I saw the site here that was recommended, not recommended, but mentioned by a friend. And you can see here, it's Roof Repair, Alpharetta, Georgia, and they're selling this already made website for $15,000, right? And what is included? It's optimized for roof repair. They even admit it's built on Wix. And I thought, well, for $15,000, I mean, if this thing generates $50,000 of revenue a month, or even $15,000 per month, that's a good deal, right? That's worth it. But I remember that Wix made an announcement just a few weeks ago that they have AI-powered chat. So I went in and I went ahead and created my own AI-generated Alpharetta, Georgia roof repair thing. You can see, and the way it works is you literally just chat with the thing, and it says, what kind of site do you?
Anyway, so this goes on for 18 minutes as an example, and I've got a lot of roofing stuff. So
well, I'm glad I picked roofing, man.
Roofing is great.
Yeah, we were going to do law firms, and then
no, law firms is a whole nother. I mean, law firms is great too, but your skills in client management and dealing with it's tougher. Okay,
oh, for sure.
All the money's in personal injury, and I know that because I coach a lot of the agencies that serve law firms in different categories.
Most definitely, yeah, and that's and what I've realized too is it's not. I mean, niche is important, but it's people are what make them fail. If I get into roofing, I fail. It's not because roofing's a bad niche; it's because of me.
Like here's Zach Reese, who runs Colony Roofers, and I think he's grown the thing to, I don't know, 15 million. I know the guys who started Simple Roofs. Like I write about these people. They like it. Right?
This is a roofer, or this is an agency?
This is a roofer. I know the top roofers. I know the top agencies. I know both sides. Yeah.
Wow, man. Well, what can I do for you? I mean, you've helped me out already tonight. Why just give me?
Drake, I want you to learn how to do it the right way. And there is a webinar I did earlier. I guess technically it's not today anymore. But go to here. I'll stop sharing. You share your screen.
Okay, 1 second. Let me go over here. I'm on my phone right now, so let me know if you see my screen starting now or now.
Okay, there you go. Now go to Facebook and search for digital marketing with Dennis Yu. It's a group. Yep, join that. There's a painter, right? I got all these home service businesses. Okay, great. Scroll down and look for that one. You see that live on Zoom that with Leanna that was 14 hours ago?
Mm-hmm.
Watch that. And if that stuff makes sense, I cover a ton of stuff in just this webinar. If that makes sense, then I'll help you start a roofing agency. I'll give you the clients. You got to execute.
100%. I will.
But if you don't execute, then we all look like dum-dums. Okay? It's all reputation, right? Because I have a good reputation. And so these businesses will come to me.
100%. Well, whatever I can do.
I've been burned by the last 3 agencies. Yeah, go back to sharing. I want to show you a couple more things.
Let's do it. Yeah, because I was going to do the acquisition because that's all my partner was going to do, the media buying, because he has a little bit more experience than I do.
No. You need to learn. The media buying is really easy.
I always thought it was the hardest part because that's because I come from sales, but I've been in a select.
There's no need to sell. When you have a great reputation, there's zero selling. Do you see me doing any selling? I never need to sell. I haven't sold in my entire career. And
so you don't have any outbound like appointment setters or anything like that?
Nope.
Wow.
Nope. And people say, like, there's no way you got like Adidas or Red Bull or Starbucks as clients without having sales reps and all. Like, nope, they just come to me. They see like, oh, Nike came to us because they saw what we did with Adidas, right? Quiznos came because they saw what we
That's
did
crazy.
with these other
Are you
chains.
still working with the Quiznos and stuff like that, or was that?
A lot of these, they come and go.
Mhm.
They're often multi-agency deals. All right, now go to Google and search my name. All right, you know what that is?
Like a Wikipedia type of thing?
Yeah, you see, so you can scroll and because you're on your phone, that whole thing is called the knowledge panel. All those colored boxes.
I seen you did it for I think it was your son in your Instagram, in your story. I
I've done
forget.
it for a lot of friends of mine. Yeah. Okay.
Wow,
You can scroll down, you can see there's all these facts about me. And people also see I just turned 50, right? People also ask, if you scroll down, you'll see other stuff about me, right?
Did you do all this yourself, or does this just like happen?
Well, this is something that I teach on how to.
That's crazy
So
because
if you
I always see those, obviously whenever you Google Mark Zuckerberg or whatever you want to Google.
Sure, sure. So yeah, people think you have to be famous, right? It's not true.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. But now imagine, Drake, that you have a good reputation and you're known as someone who actually makes the phone ring for roofers. And you have several roofing companies that you've done this for, and they absolutely love you. And you have lunch with them, and they're friends with you, and they talk about you, and they refer you to their other friends that are roofers who say, yeah, I got burned by the last three agencies. Can you recommend one? And they'll say, yeah, you got to work with Kyle or Drake, or Drake is really good, right? That's how this thing works. You do it not by outbound selling or cold DMs or dialing for dollars or AI, whatever. You do it because you actually do a good job and people talk
100%.
about you. So then
Even with the roofing industry, is like the competitive nature of not wanting, even if they're like friends.
competitive. No, if they're in different cities, it doesn't matter.
It's true.
Yeah. Everything, I think people on the internet, especially with all the faking going on Instagram, which you know about, they seem to believe that doing a good job and having a reputation and all that doesn't matter. And it's all about closing and sales and Lamborghinis and nonsense.
Yeah, that's a
What
young
matters
generation.
is actually driving the freaking result.
100%. And I think my generation is to blame for most of that, if not all of that.
And then they make these insane promises. Oh, I'll guarantee you 100 leads this first month. Really? How likely are you going to, you're going to disappoint them. So if you're going to make a promise, make one that's very likely. You can say, when you sign up with us, we're going to do a combination of PPC and SEO. Of course, the SEO takes time. So PPC, it's probably going to be, depending on the area, $90 to $120 per call. And then it's just a matter of your team being able to close. We want to do the call tracking, tie it back to your CRM. Maybe you have a Service Titan or a HubSpot or whatever, Angie, whatever you have, and we're going to make sure there's ROI there. But generally, if you answer the phone, you're 4.5 stars on your reviews, ideally 50 plus, 100 plus reviews on Google, then we can probably amplify what you have. If you don't have good reviews, then we can't work with you. If you guys don't answer the phone, if you are in an emergency situation where you need to have leads right now, can't work with you because we are all about long-term relationships, right? Well, this other guy said he could drive leads for $50. Then go over to the other guy for $50. But we've done lots and lots of roofers. We know kind of what the general range is if we do a good job. And it's us as a team working together. There's a lot of these agencies, the way you can tell they're scams is that they just say, oh, you just write me a check for 5,000 every month and you don't have to do anything. Really? When we talk about a partnership, there's things that you have to do and things we have to do that we're going to coordinate on. We're going to come back to you and say, we need some content. We need some of the folks up on the roof talking about, hey, this is some roof damage. This is how you spot it. Or this is, hey, look, there was storm damage and this is what we've noticed in this part of town, right? Or we're up on the roof here at this new mall and, here's an aluminum roof and blah, 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 right? We're going to ask you for things. We're going to look at the call logs and tell you, hey, you know what? You've missed 5 calls last week. What's going on? Listening to some of these guys, they didn't answer the phone within 2 rings. What's going on?
I was worried about that, Dennis, to be honest. I was worried, because I was thinking, we could do e-commerce, we could do roofing. I wanted to make for sure we could track.
Don't do e-com. Don't do e-com unless you actually understand and operate e-com.
Yeah, we do not. I'll tell you that right now. And that's why we want to do roofing. And we have some buddies who are involved in roofing. But only thing I was worried about with that side of things was being able to track if they close a sale, because I didn't know if we were going to do like a performance basis or retainer.
Oh, no. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. This model of local PPC agency or whatever is a well-known model. Why reinvent the wheel?
What is your pricing for roof if you were to work with roofers if you were in my situation?
We charge $3,500 a month. So go to blitzmetrics.com/CEP, and then we'll duplicate everything we have in our systems. We'll duplicate for you under what the name of your agency is.
Blitzmetrics.com/CEP,
which is the conversion engine package. And we'd like to offer this one package, right? So we document exactly what we do, what they need to do, right? You've got
you don't charge any performance on top of that. It's just flat.
Nope. I mean, I totally understand. We've tried performance before. We've done performance in e-com. We did performance with the Warriors where they gave us 1% of revenue, right? The basketball team, that was a lot of fun, right? We made a lot of money doing that. But it's any kind of negotiated deal where there's equity or performance or whatever, you only want to do if there's enough money to make it worth it, right?
Right. With roofing, and that's the thing which is very beautiful about roofing is one, obviously they have other expenses, but one client or one conversion from our ads covers our entire fee plus some. So if we get them, if their average ticket is 20 grand, which is kind of high, if it was 10 to 15 grand, let's say with 10 grand, if we get them 5, they're bringing in 50 grand revenue and paying us 3,500. The ROI is insane on something like that.
Yeah. But so you have to get all the way through their CRM, whatever CRM they have. And a lot of people don't have CRMs. So we won't work with them unless they have one. And then they've got to have call tracking. We highly recommend CallRail, which is what like 95% of people do. And so we have a whole system of measuring it all the way down to where they make money. And thus they're profitable working with us. Instead of seeing us as an expense every month, they see it as profit. If you don't track the revenue, you're just an expense and companies cut expenses.
100%.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever get obviously you guys don't do the outbound, but the objection of I'm looking to be able to get over with is, how are you going to get me in front of A-Best Roofing? Like our competition, if we're not going to spend as much money as them, how are you going to get us above them or whatnot?
If you're another roofing company and A-Best Roofing is a competitor?
Yes. Like if I'm working with John's roofing company and he's not going to spend as much as A-Best.
You don't have to spend more than the other guy. You just have to spend smarter. And there's certain areas that we can serve better. There's certain customer bases we can serve better. There's more than enough room in Oklahoma City or Tulsa for more than enough room for one roofing company. How many roofing companies are there? 50? There's a lot.
There's a lot. It's Oklahoma. Our weather here is very bipolar, so we're pretty much they're busy year round. Yeah. But that's the one thing they struggle with is consistency and consistent leads.
Yeah. So PPC is a great way to balance that out because you can turn the knob.
Yeah, and they have a lot of pain too, which is why I really wanted to go with roofing. I mean, I'm just telling you things you already know at this point, but they have a lot of pain, and people pay money when they have pain, not when they need or want something.
Right.
So yeah, but man, that's something I got a lot of knowledge from you tonight. What can I'm not in any position to be able to afford a mentorship.
No, I'm not charging you anything. There's no hidden fee.
Are you serious?
I've done this for a long time. What I want you to do is, I showed you that webinar from 14 hours ago. Study that. And then study what I teach about SEO and PPC and all that. Like literally when you Google my name, you'll see there's like 1,000 YouTube videos and all that kind of stuff. Study that and then make a 1-minute video that you post on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Because you can take a piece of content and just cross-post it everywhere, right?
Yeah.
A 1-minute video or a 5-minute video, whatever, just kind of summarizing what you've learned. Not as a testimonial, right? I'm not looking for you to say, oh, Dennis is so smart. And all. I mean, you can if you want. I've already got lots and lots. If you Google me, you already see it's not like I need any more of that, okay? It's nice to have, right? Mm-hmm. But mainly, I want you to teach some of the things that was maybe a surprise for what you thought about. Because you could say, you know what? I'm Drake and I came in thinking that I'm a sales rep and I'm just going to dial for dollars and bring in clients and try to convince them that, and I chose roofing as a niche and I was going to white label. But then I realized, you know what? If I can't, and I want to deliver results, but if I can't for sure know that I can see it all the way through, if I don't understand how it's actually being done, I really can't credibly sell this stuff, can I? And yes,
That's
maybe you have a
very true.
partner who's a little bit better at media buying or whatever you want to call it. But, you know, you kind of have to know, like, if you're Gordon Ramsay and you want to offer a good burger, you better know how to cook the burger. You can't just trust a chef who says, "Oh, I'm really good at cooking hamburgers." Really? How do I know? How do you know? How do you know if anyone's any good? And there's always problems along the way. Do you know how to resolve those problems? Are you with a group of other people who've done it before? Or are you just following the internet bros that are talking about all this easy money that looks like easy money? Okay, maybe it is easy money. Maybe I don't know what I'm doing, but I've coached thousands of agencies. I've seen a lot of people as train wrecks. I've seen a lot of people fail. I've seen a lot of scams. I feel like it's going to be pretty hard to pull a fast one on me because if you name anybody in digital marketing, Google that person's name and my name and look for a podcast, right? Look for training. Any other tech company, Fiverr, Google, Facebook, Instagram, Google that and me and see what we've done together, right? It's going to be pretty hard to fool me, right?
100%. And you've had experience with the white label, and that's how I found you, which is crazy. You know, I've been digging into the space, and I seen the testimony, and I was like, well, I'm gonna hit up Dennis. You know, maybe he'll answer me. You know, one day he texted me back, and I was like, wow, I can't believe he's actually
And it's
answering.
not an AI. This is actually me, right?
I trust me. I know.
A lot of some of the AIs look pretty good, you know, it's believable.
I appreciate you really do this. Like
But I want you to study. I want you to learn because it's your competence that allows you to do good work, which then grows your reputation. And probably at your stage, my guess is that in sort of like figuring out how you're going to do it, the big challenge in your mind, which is not actually the big challenge, but in your mind, it's probably how do I get my first client or two, right? I just got to get that first client. It's actually very easy because I can do that for you. I can just give you one. I can just give you a roofing company.
But what do I need to do to be able to make that happen?
You need to, if I hand you one of these, you better damn well take good care of them. And so a lot of young adults have come to me like, yeah, give me. I'll take good care. Like, really?
I want to prove. Well, before you give me, I want you to like. I want us to be able to prove to you that we will.
So let's say that I operate the only hospital in town, right, Drake? And just for sake of simple example, there's a lot of people who, you know, who are obese and they get heart attacks, right? And I'm the only one in town who can do the heart surgery and whatever, right? There's a lot of witch doctors and Ouija boards and Lucky Charms and things like that. And you say, you know what? There's a lot of money as heart surgeons. I'm like, yeah, you're right. I operate the only hospital in town. Well, if you know, I promise you, if you give me the next patient that comes to the door, I'll do a great heart surgery for them. Ooh, well, you got to make sure you're trained up. You know, you got to learn how the heart works. Oh no, I saw this YouTube video. I can do heart surgery in 5 minutes. No. I'm not going to let you touch any of my patients, right? So I want you to learn how to do it right. And the best way is initially for the first couple, just because if you've never done this stuff before, it's, you know, it's not as easy as it looks. Okay. I've got thousands of videos where I'm doing it. I'm in the interface. I'm messing with the ads and it looks easy, right? Or some people think it looks easy, but be an apprentice for a couple other people that are maybe a year or two ahead of you, Drake, which I've coached. And these are people that have grown their agencies and they know that because of the help they've gotten from me, they have to help train up other people. That's our agreement, right? So then as you get to that point, and this is not an MLM or anything like that, but as you start to, it's mentorship, apprenticeship, like this is the way things have always been. In the United States, this idea of Instagram, social media has changed what has always been. You know, this is how blacksmiths and shoemakers and bakers, this is how it's all the apprentice model, you know what I'm talking about? That's what it's always been. That's how you learn by working with someone who actually hands-on does the thing, not some professor who says, all right, everybody, read chapter 3 today. No, you've got to work with someone who actually does the thing. Otherwise, I don't believe you, right? So I'd say for the first couple, if you're choosing roofing, then work with some of our guys who own agencies that do roofing. And then as you learn, and you know, we'll give you a client to work on, and you demonstrate, we'll watch over you because we can't afford you to goof it up. If you goof it up, we all look like idiots, okay? It's just bad things. Then that hurts our reputation and the whole thing's reputation, okay? We just cannot screw it up. I don't care what the excuse is. We just cannot goof it up, okay? But then you demonstrate that you can do a good job, then we'll start another agency under your name and help you build out all the systems and all the things that you probably didn't even know that you needed.
And this is all for free. I just got to put in the work.
You got to put in the work, but then you have to contribute back. So you have to help other people that are in your situation. You have to help train up other VAs. You have to work on have to sounds bad, but because you want to help teach. You want
That's
to
the
help.
main thing. That me and my business partner, the biggest thing, the reason why we want to become wealthy is mainly because we want to help young men like us who were in our shoes when they were 16, 17, 18, realize there's more to life than just, clocking in and clocking out.
Yeah.
There's meaning to life. So that's the biggest thing for me. And I'm in tech sales right now.
Yeah.
And obviously it's hard to push through every single day because, I've always been so entrepreneurial when I run my own business. So every day that I'm working, I'm like, can't wait to get out of here and work on my business. And it drives me crazy. And it's so hard to stay locked in. And I've been, between multiple jobs. Obviously, I'm in tech sales now, so I make decent money, but it's hard for me to stay logged in. So I've been looking into trying to like work for an agency or something like that. That way I can kind of be learning while working and making money by still being able to provide for me and my girlfriend. I live in an apartment and stuff like that.
And that's good. I love that. That's awesome. But take these first steps to earn it, not be handed it, to not try to convince people of, how good you can sell. There's no need to sell. Surgeons in the operating room never need to sell the patient. You know what I'm talking about? In the emergency room, there's all these people that are like dying and bleeding and whatever. Is there any selling going on in the emergency room?
That is true.
Do you think like hospitals would make more money if they put salespeople in the emergency room? They come to us. Right?
I see what you're saying. And I know it takes the time to get to that point, of not needing to do outbound. And
I've never in my life ever done outbound.
Are you serious?
Yes, ever.
How did you generate your first 10, 15 clients?
The CEO of American Airlines was my mentor. And I also built the analytics at a search engine. And I spoke on stages. And I helped a lot of friends who had businesses who were CMOs of Fortune 500 companies. And I developed a great reputation. And from that, other people talked about me. And all these companies came my way. And it's always been that way. It's always been people come to me. You came to me.
Yeah, that's true.
I didn't try to sell you on any kind of program. I didn't like hit you up. Hey, man, do you want to make money on the internet? No.
Yeah, that's the best thing is that people come to you.
People are like, oh, you can't, it's only because, Dennis, you're so well known and you've been on TV and you have books and all this kind of stuff. And you made a lot of money. You can do all that. I did that when I was 20. I had mentors. Oh, that was cheating. If I had the CEO of American Airlines as a mentor, well, you can find a mentor.
How did you get in contact with him? Were you in your 20s?
Yeah, he liked me.
Man.
He said, boy, you have such, and it was in Dallas. And he said, boy, you have such a good smile. You could sell for the toothpaste company. And I was going to go work at Goldman Sachs or maybe McKinsey, because that was like the path that, for the top. I was on a full scholarship at SMU, a President's Scholar, where they have to basically invite you. And I was going to go down that Ivy League route. And he said, you built a lot of websites and you're really good at this. And this is before the internet was a thing. Now, obviously today the internet's a big deal, but back then we didn't know. I mean, it's like before you were even born. And he said, we need to build a website for the airline. And this is an old man. So it's really wise for an old man to say, I really think this internet thing, I think people are going to go on the internet. They're actually going to buy things. They're actually going to, this is back with dial-up. There's no mobile phones with screens or anything like that. I mean, this is way back in the early 90s. Okay. And he said, you might want to consider the internet thing. And because you built websites for all these other people, maybe you can build a website for the airline instead of going to Goldman Sachs or McKinsey or whatever. And I thought, yeah, why not? Why not? Let's see what happens. And that's made all the difference. And then I got to go work at Yahoo in the early days.
Wow.
So I learned about the internet from the people who built it. And I'm just some random guy. I was just very lucky to be in the right place at the right time with these people. These are like zillions of times smarter than me. I was very lucky to be with these people.
What makes you, is it your fulfillment or what makes you want to do what you do now? I mean, I don't know of anybody who's not charging money to hop on calls with 20-year-old guys.
I get it. Look, I know the Richard Hughes of the world and the other folks who are trying to sell these whole programs and maxing out these kids' credit cards. But my mentor died and we didn't have any I mean, this is before like Zoom or anything like that. Okay. So like back then, like cell phones didn't take pictures back then.
Hmm.
And I feel really bad because he poured so much into me and there was nothing I could have done for him. I mean, he's friends with living presidents of the United States. He's got all the money. He has everything. And what could I possibly do as like a 21-year-old, right? So I've always carried this burden on how do I pay it back? And I thought, well, maybe I can mentor people. So I started mentoring at small scale. And then I started creating courses and I started doing public speaking and publishing books and teaching at universities and all that kind of stuff. And I thought, what's the like highest leverage thing that I could do? And the idea of scaled apprenticeship through this kind of program, not like a sales program, not an MLM, but something like this was the most meaningful to me because I was very lucky at Yahoo. Anyone who was there at the right time would have made millions of dollars like I did. And, ever since then, I don't know if like when you hit the point where you make your first couple $1 million, I'm not going to say this publicly because people will like take it the wrong way. Okay. So when you make your first couple $1 million, like I did, I was dumb and I bought all kinds of toys, right? I had the mansion and the private jets and I did all the dumb stuff. Okay. $50,000 at the club, I would do that kind of stuff. And I had a lot of these friends, okay, who weren't really friends. They were just groupies.
Right.
Money, and there was nothing I could buy. There's nothing I could do. I'd go to other friends' houses and I'd see how nice their houses were. I'd see their boats. I'd ride on their planes. And it just became kind of empty. And I mean, I still enjoy nice restaurants. I'll still like whatever. Friends will invite me to be on their boat. I'm like, okay, hey, that's a nice boat you have, right? But none of that stuff impresses me anymore. Doesn't mean anything. I mean, maybe the first time you have a sports car, wow, that's really exciting. But then it's like, okay, people are going to ding me at the parking lot at Costco, right?
Yeah.
So I've already done all that. I've got 1 million miles of first class travel and private jet travel. I've done all that stuff. You could tell me that your daddy's a billionaire. Doesn't impress me. I've already seen all that.
Yeah.
I want something more than that.
Came from the opposite type of family. I grew up. I didn't grow up that rough, but I definitely didn't grow up like most of the people I know that are my friends. They grew up pretty wealthy.
Yeah.
But I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed to be healthy and be 20 years old, have the mindset that I have. So I'm super excited. I feel like I have this fixation of 10K a month first, 15K.
Yeah. That's the number of people start with 10K a month.
Yeah, it's like I have to get to that because all I want to do, man, to be honest with you, and it's kind of I just want to travel the world, live in a different state because Oklahoma. I mean, I thought
your girlfriend can do all those things, but you gotta earn it. You gotta put in the time and drive the result. And some people don't have the patience because they think they got it. They wrote on their calendar they're gonna do it by the end of the year they're gonna be a millionaire. Like you're probably not gonna make it.
Yeah, and I'll do whatever it takes. I don't care if it takes 6 months, a year, 2 years. I told my partner the other day because we started multiple businesses and they failed. They didn't fail. We failed. None of them ever failed. And businesses don't fail themselves. We definitely exactly. We failed. And I told him earlier. I said, no matter what happens in life, I'm never stopping this. I'm never stopping running Google ads for contractors, roofers, mainly roofers is what we're starting with, of course. But I'm never going to stop this. I get so pissed off that I'm not there. My age isn't like I think you think, oh, you're 20. But there's 18-year-olds and 19-year-olds online that are making $400,000 a month.
Don't compare because a lot of those are fake.
That is true. I don't know, man. I want to be there so bad. I graduated high school at 16 and I moved to Huntington Beach to sell solar. And ever since then, I've been graduated and I feel like I've just been selling software but I'm blessed. I can't say I haven't been. But
you have to get yourself to 10K a month and demonstrate not that you're just making 10K a month. That's easy. But you're actually delivering value and building great reputation instead of just like ripping people off and churning through, but still making 10K a month. You understand the difference between that?
100%.
Okay. Because then when you do that, then you can show these other 16-year-olds or whatnot that there's a life beyond the 9 to 5 and that you can make money with integrity instead of just by selling harder or like using all these different techniques to convince grandma to hand over her money going door to door, right?
Yes, sir.
Do it because you have a great reputation. A lot of
I
us
also want to do it. I want to do what you do. I want to get to a point with my agency where I can, call 16-year-old guys and give an hour of my time to them a day, 2 hours of my time to a few of them a day,
and
and help them.
you can't give what you don't have.
Yeah,
You don't have you
exactly.
don't have the experience to share.
100%.
There's a group of us that we all believe the same thing and we want to help other people. And we are kind of modern day missionaries. Instead of fishes and loaves, we're doing technology, right? And this is another way of feeding people because when people have their basic needs met, then they can start to think about the more important things in life.
Yeah, and yeah, those to me are, my faith, taking care of the people I love, and just being a good person and making a difference in the world of other people. Because like, I mean, I don't know if you kind of mentioned this earlier. Like we're all gonna, we are all going to die. So whenever we are on our deathbed, I kind of just want to
Yeah.
feel like I did something meaningful on this planet. And because like you mentioned money, like because I think it will, but I just know deep down from when I talk to people that are billionaires. My best friend's grandpa, he's a huge commercial real estate guy, and he's like, dude, money is so meaningless. Like he's had all the cars, which is
Sure.
crazy. Like how does it feel to actually get to a million? Like to ask you that, like what did it feel like?
Look, it happens every time. Ask anyone, they'll tell you the same thing. Initially, when you get the car or the house or the achievement or whatever the thing is, initially you're very happy for a few days, and then it wears off, and then you're sad. I don't know. I've never done drugs, but I can imagine what it would be like to be a drug addict where you come off the high.
Right. So it's like a feeling of like you reached your goal, but is the sadness more so of like realizing the money's not what you were actually aiming for the entire time?
I know a lot of people where they spent their lives chasing money and they made it to $1 billion or whatnot, and they regret it. And like read the stories of people on their deathbed, Drake, and you'll hear they all say the same thing. They're not like, oh, I wish I made another million. I wish I attended another meeting. It was always, I didn't spend time with my wife or my kids, or I didn't take care of my health, or it was, those are the things they regret. And probably the easiest way to put it, you're 20. So what's the difference, Drake, between happiness versus joy?
I think I'm too young and dumb and immature to answer that
Think
question.
about it.
Happiness and joy, or I think joy is short term, happiness is long term.
Probably the other way, but why? Because you don't really know what you want. If you don't know the difference between those two, you could hit your 10K a month, 20K a month, whatever, hit it, and you'll be unhappy because you don't really know what you want.
My brain, my whole life, I've always been like, if I get to 10K a month, I can travel, can do these things that I want to do.
Yeah. But
So
then you're doing 10K a month. There's all these other people that are doing 50K a month and 100K a month. And look at this other kid who's doing 400K a month, you said, right? You'll never win that game.
yeah, I think that what makes me happy is thinking. What brings me joy is spending time and having time freedom with my loved ones.
Okay. And that doesn't necessarily have anything to do with money, but you do have to be able to pay your bills and not have to worry about, the day
Right.
to day. So happiness is you and I, we have a bowl of ice cream, right? That's great for the moment. We're very happy, right? But maybe tomorrow, we get fat and that's not good, right? So a lot of people do things, watch Netflix or do things that make them happy in the short run, but actually leads down the wrong path, right? Versus, let's say you love your wife or you marry your girlfriend, right? And you want to provide for them and you want to take care of these other kids you mentor. You want to set a good example for them. And that means sometimes you have to sacrifice. Sometimes you don't get to sleep because you have to take care of the baby or a friend needs you or whatever it is. And that's not happy. That's like going, you got to go to the gym and work out. That's kind of painful, right? There's things that you do that are painful that are not exciting, not like they didn't, I'm like, when you have to work hard and you don't feel like it, you got to wake up early in the morning, you have to deal with an unhappy customer, you have to like these things you have, this discipline kind of stuff. You can't be happy all the time, but you can have joy even when you're in pain. You can have joy because you're taking care of things that, lifting weights is, you have to really work hard, for example, right? But you have joy because it's in the service of someone else or it's towards the bigger goal. And that's what joy is. Joy is this longer lasting feeling of warmth and it's sustaining versus happiness comes and goes. Happiness is like a sugar high, So if you seek joy over happiness, your life will be so much more fulfilled.
Because I feel like you're changing my life right now, dude. Because like I've literally been seeking happiness my whole life. Like get to 5K, get to 10K a month. I haven't even got there yet, but
Drake, that's a trap. And the reason why it's a trap is because it's so appealing. Like, who doesn't want to get to 10K a month?
right,
Right? I mean, what's wrong with that? Nothing's wrong with that by itself. But it's if you take shortcuts to that, if you compromise your integrity, if you mistreat your friends or relationships because you need to do this thing for the money and you ignore, like some people are like that, right? They don't realize they're like that. Is it really worth it? And it's not an either or. It's not like, oh, well, in order to make money, I have to be an asshole, or, if I'm a good person, I have to be poor. That's false too.
right.
But the people I know a lot of people who have made it, who are joyful, not because they have a lot of money. I know a lot of people who have a lot of money and they have fantastic lives all around. My buddy Matthew Janusek, he's probably the number one guy in the fitness industry. Not as a fitness influencer, but in the business of fitness, the CEOs of 24 Hour Fitness. He's friends with all these guys with, Mr. Olympia, gold medal, all that kind of stuff. And he's 52 and he has a dream life. Obviously, he has the money and the cars and all that, but he has a great life. Him and his wife and his two kids, they have so much fun, so much time together. They travel together. Business is great. That's the kind of balance that we all would appear. Like that's what Instagram pretends. But most of the people are just, I can tell you who a lot of these people are. It's fake. They don't have that. They don't even make the money they claim to make. They're just posing because they can fool people like you.
Yeah, he gave me to buy their, $2,000 course, and it's happened. I followed. And I'm not saying he's a bad guy, but I followed Iman Gadzhi.
Sure.
You probably heard of him.
Yeah. He's big.
Yeah, for a long time. I bought his course a while ago. I didn't take action with it, but that's one of those things where I was 16 years old, young dumb kid, and used my grandma's credit card to buy an agency course and didn't take action with it. And if I could go back and change that, I can't imagine where I'd be today. But all we can do is control today. So my action plan is I'm in the community. I'm going to start engaging with everybody in there. If like you said, if there's any roofers in there that I can help in any way, or we can try to exchange value. I can learn from them, tell them what to do. But yeah, as far as action plan, you've already told me, you go watch the YouTube videos, educate ourselves on YouTube from what you put out there as far as resources.
You got to learn to communicate. Don't just sit there and watch YouTube videos. Okay. This is not Netflix. The way for you, Drake, to learn this is just make it like part of a habit, like going to the gym's a habit, right? So you watch a video, as soon as you're done, not later, not tomorrow, you make a video summarizing what the key things are, right? And what you thought. It's not perfect. You don't have to write down notes, and it improves your ability to communicate. And then because you had just studied that material, when you make a video kind of reflecting what you've learned, it kicks it into long-term memory. If you learn how the brain works, right? Short-term and long-term memory, that immediate repetition where you're thinking about how that fits and how it processes and how you explain it to someone else helps you learn it better. And then the next step is you get to put it into action, because it's one thing to like learn about SEO or Google ads or quality score or like whatever. But then when you get to work on a real client and that skill you just learned, now you're actually doing it, that also kicks in another level of learning back on the long-term memory. So that's the path I would like to see you go down. I have given this offer to hundreds, if not thousands, of young adults. And I'll tell you, don't mean to be pessimistic, but the math of it is, Drake, that the majority of these folks who say like, oh yeah, I'm gung ho, they're all excited. It's like going to church on Sunday, like, yeah, you see the praise songs, the guitars going, whatever it is, right? They're like all like full of the spirit. And then like Monday morning, they've just like forgotten everything, So the majority of people, when I tell them what I'm telling you here, they say, oh yeah, I'm going to do it, but they don't.
Yes, sir.
I'm just telling you, that's how it is.
No, I've seen it with my own
It's like New Year's resolutions, they're going to lose weight. Whatever their New Year's resolution is, they just never do it. Okay. And just like with this, they just don't do it. But 100%. I give them the offer and see if you come through, that's amazing. I love that. There's hundreds of folks who have come through, but there's tens of thousands of folks who have for whatever, oh, I got busy, I was sick, I'm going to start next month, or, my car broke, or like, okay, great, whatever.
And this is all I do. You can look at I got the standing desk. I got my work monitors
Yeah.
for work, and then my business laptop with a monitor. Like, this is all I do. I sit in here literally
No, we're talking at 3 a.m. your time. So
14 hours a day.
that says you're serious. That's a good
No,
sign.
I'm not going to waste your time. This, I'm serious. Like I've, I've been screwed a few times by a few guys from different businesses, which is my fault. I'm not going to make excuses. My fault as well for being fooled by their offers. But man, like the fact that you took your time out of your night, I'm not really, giving you any value whatsoever, and you're still not charging me money.
You don't need to. There's no catch. I'm not like, okay,
I know. It's just crazy.
Sign up right now. Sign up right now, and I'm gonna.
It blows my mind. I mean, I still can't. It makes me want to go above and beyond for you, and I know there's nothing that I can really do to pay you back for what.
Now you know what mentorship is. That's what mentorship is versus coaching. Coaching is just give me the money.
Yeah, and that's what most of it is nowadays. And not that it's a bad thing or a good thing, but whatever you're doing, Dennis, is a great thing, and I can assure you, the hour that you've given me tonight will not go unnoticed, and somehow, some way, I will do my absolute best to be able to pay you back one day. I don't know what that's. I don't know what it's going to be, Dennis, but whatever I can do, and one phone call away. I don't know how you want to communicate. I can.
So Drake, I'll tell you. Here's our agreement. You put in the effort to do these things, and sometimes you'll be confused, you'll be overwhelmed, you'll be like, I don't know, pissed off. Like things happen. Okay, like that's how entrepreneurship is. But if you put in the time and the effort, I'll put in the time and effort to match you. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And you'll be surprised how quick and how fast I am, because I know this game very well. Right. I know in advance, it's going to sound condescending, but I already know in advance where the challenges are, where people fall down. This is Groundhog Day for me, right? I know the path that you can take all the way up the ladder, and not just 10K, 20K a month or whatever, but all the other things as part of life. I already know, because I've witnessed over the last 35 years, other people who I've helped coach. They're almost like adopted kids of mine, because I just love seeing them win, and I can help you with that.
Thank you so much.
You got to pay it. The key is you have to pay it forward. Constantly be paying it forward. I don't want your money. I just want you to pay it forward at every step.
You got the right guy. That's the only thing I want to do in this life is help young men.
And when you said you want to help these other young men, that's music to my ears.
That's all I care about. And I wish I was in a financial position to do so. That's all me and Todd. Like, we've wanted to start communities, but we can't because we don't know. Like, we're not in a place of expertise to do this for people, right? But man, if I can have an agency running that's automated to a T.
You can. We already know how to do it. Okay. That's not the issue. The issue is, can you follow through? The recipe works. The recipe for chocolate chip cookies, good one, I promise you, it's good. The question is, can you follow the instructions and bake and mix and all that stuff, right?
Yes, sir.
So you already have some things to do. You know generally what the path is, because as you start to do these things, I'm going to introduce you to other people that are a little bit further than you are. And then you're going to learn from them, work with them. And I'll say, hey, work with Drake, give him some simple tasks so we can learn. Because, the chicken and the egg is, if you've never done it for roofing companies, how can you credibly talk to a roofing company saying, oh yeah, I can do it? Versus like, yep, here's 3 other roofing companies I've done this for. Right. And then as you get further along, there's going to be other Drakes. And then you're going to have to help them. And that's how it is. That's how there's always people who are ahead of you that are mentoring you. And there's people that are a couple steps behind you, and you're going to help them. And that's what we want to see.
Yes, sir. You have my word. And right now, I'm finishing building our website right now. Do you want me to put a stop to everything, or what? Or should I continue to build my business, but also
build your website if you want? But I don't recommend trying to do this whole sales approach. But I totally understand the internet and Instagram. That's what they'd have you believe, because they're trying to sell you a program, which is why they're trying to turn you into a salesperson, because that's what they're doing.
I just thought cold outreach was my only way to get clients, because I don't know any other way of how I'm going to get clients.
There's this thing called the lighthouse method, but I don't want to overload you, at the buffet, one plate at a time,
For sure.
Could be the Golden Corral, but still one plate at a time. And once you digest these first few things, then I want you to learn about the lighthouse model and how we attract roofing companies and plumbers and whatnot, the way we do audits, that we started to do that audit, right? And if we went a little further, we would publish that as an audit. And that way, if you know these people at A-Best Roofing, you could say, hey, I noticed some things that are really good and some things that are kind of missing, and I'd love to show you. In fact, here's some things that your competitors are doing that are, and why they're ahead of you in certain ways. And here's this and this. And would you like to get on a Zoom and I'll show you more? I'm not even trying to sell you. I'll just show you. Would you like to see? And they always say yes to that.
Right? Of course.
There's many ways to do it, right? Usually it's referral or something like that, or we do a webinar. I did a webinar today. We had, 100 something people. That was good, right? We do that all the time. But you can see kind of what the path will look like for you.
For sure.
And, sometimes it's not exactly a perfect path because, life is messy. But what you should do right now, Dre, before you go to bed, when we get off Zoom, is make a 1-minute video right now, just about, what you've learned, what you think, impact. And this will send a signal subconsciously to you, to your partner, and to these other young men that you're mentoring, that they need to also do the same thing. And your ability to communicate and to be a leader is different than just being a consumer watching social media and Netflix. Your ability to communicate and understand and build relationships, especially online, is the crux of digital marketing, because it's the ability to build relationships and the empathy to be able to do that, and the morals and all that kind of stuff. And it's just a muscle you have to practice.
Yes, sir.
And the more you teach other people how to do it, the easier it becomes, the bigger your influence becomes naturally, because then you start making 1-minute videos. You'll see so many opportunities to be making 1-minute videos. Like someone at the grocery store does something really cool and you make a 1-minute video interviewing them about that, right? Or you're at the church and the pastor gave a great sermon about whatever, and you say, hey, today you talked about Matthew 5:27, and the reason why it impacted me was because of this and this and that. And, like you'll constantly be in the interview, sharing, discovery mode. You're like a mini podcaster all the time, discovering little things to share.
I love it.
You do that, you can help roofers do the same thing, because then you can go on ride-alongs and help the contractors, because most of them, they don't do videos or pictures. And you can be the young social media guy who helps the 50-year-old white guys with the social media and the website and that whole thing, all the technical stuff. But if you don't put into practice yourself, then you can't do it, right? You'd be a hypocrite. You'd just be a sales guy instead of an actual hands-on practitioner.
100%. And that's what I was going to be, was a sales guy. And so to let me put it all in my notes quickly. My action plan: step 1, film the video. Step 2, go into the group chat and watch the webinar from today.
Mm-hmm.
So take video, just so I can not forget this. Community video, and then I'll be engaging with some individuals in the community just to pick their ears. That's fine with you. And then YouTube. Is there anything specifically you want me to watch, or just Google? Because I'm focusing on Google Ads primarily.
Well, Google Ads is actually easy to do now. It's so easy to do. It's all these other things like connecting to the CRM and call tracking and whatever. But when we'll give you access to some roofing clients that we're working on, and you can learn to see how that's done. And you'll see what component is. I mean, there's sort of a gray area on like what's PPC versus what's not. It's all kind of blended together, and you'll see how that works for real on real clients, right?
And when you say you'll give me those, so you'll let me take a look at them. But over time, if I prove myself to you, you'll actually end up giving us a couple of clients.
Yeah. So you'll work on some of these, but we'll give you some basic things, and then we're not going to give you like full control, because you might goof things up, right?
Right.
The idea of mentorship is stuff that it has to be safe. We just can't afford a goof up, right?
Right.
And then once you get to the point where we feel that you could do it, we'll give you your own client. And then by then you'll have your own bank account and your own brand and your whole onboarding system, and all. You can just leverage ours too. We've built all these things too. Like if you don't know how to set up an LLC and how to set up, payments and all that kind of stuff, like we already know how to do all that. Okay.
So,
how to hire VAs, how to,
thank you so much.
Management. Yeah.
And that's the thing is, and I have to go as well. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I work 7:30. It's 3:00. I work 7:30 to 4 p.m. So my cold calling times, even if I were to do sales, I can only cold call for like a couple hours a day. So I was email automations. I was looking at all that. So that's the biggest thing. That's what I'm trying to work for an agency. I could probably find one in the community if I would, a good one I could do sales for or do
But
something.
that doesn't bring you any further because that's just being an employee.
That's true. Well, I just want to free up more time in the day to focus on my agency because right now I'm locked into my role from 7:30 a.m. to 4. So
Okay, so I guess that's commission based because it's tech sales. But how much money do you need to make to not have to worry about that so you can focus full time on this?
well, right now I'm making after taxes 2,800 base pay plus 500 in commission a month. So to not have to worry about that, probably 35 with all my expenses. My expenses are generally pretty low, but probably 35 to $4,000 a month after tax.
Okay, so $4,000 a month. All right. So if you can demonstrate over the next couple of weeks that you are pretty good and reliable and learn quickly, we're not expecting you to know anything, right? We're seeing how fast you can learn. You do a pretty good job. We'll just pay you $4,000 a month just to get going.
You're serious?
Yeah. This Zoom is being recorded. You have proof. I'm going to give you this Zoom at the end. You can play this.
My partner's not going to believe this. He's not going to believe this.
Have him watch this Zoom. When the Zoom's over, Zoom sends a little thing with the recording. I'll send that to you.
Thank you so much, Tyler. If you're watching this, this is not AI. This is the real Dennis Yu, the legend in the flesh. And thank you so much, man. You're going to change my life.
But the key is, I open doors, but you have to do the work.
I will do whatever. I know you've heard that from a lot of young kids, but I can assure you, you will receive an update from me every single day, and I will do whatever it takes.
Perfect.
Yes,
awesome.
sir. You have my word.
I'm excited for you, Drake.
Thank you so much, Dennis.
I'm glad you reached out.
Do you want me to email you to connect with you, DM me from now on? Do you want my number? How would you like to communicate?
Whatever way you want. I'm going to start to introduce you to other people. So then you're going to start to learn how to work in a team.
Yes, sir. I'm going to shoot you my number because I don't get notifications. I do get notifications, but just so you have this, if I don't answer in a timely manner on Instagram, 100% get back to you with that phone number. And
okay, so you go by Drake. You're actually Brian Drake Singleton.
Yes, sir.
Drake.
Yes. My dad's. I'm Brian Jr., so I got kicked to the old middle name when I was born.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
There, I just texted you back.
Okay, 1 second. Got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Well, perfect time.
Make your video and go to bed because you only got a few hours until you have to start doing.
Yeah, I appreciate you hopping on so late. I know you got a lot of things to do as well, and yeah, my phone's on 5, so perfect timing for this to end. But man, this has been the best hour of the year so far. I'll tell you that. Thank you so much, Dennis. I'll talk to you very soon.
Amen. All right. Appreciate you.